clown virgins, clown virgins. We're getting together to make the world better. Clown virgins, clown virgins. We'll make you laugh and play, we'll take your blues away.
Topic of business, I'm delighted to talk about how the principles of clown and play can be applied to entrepreneurship. I've been a student mentor at Babson College this past year, and there I've had the opportunity to help over 40 students launch successful businesses through the college's flagship course. And let me grab my slides. This past summer, I had the opportunity to be in the most intense, the most intense entrepreneurship lab I've ever experienced. Is it sharing? Can you share? It was here at Dete International, a clown school, where I spent 3 weeks engaged in play and discovery of the physical and what it means to be a clown. Now, these things seem very, very disparate. How is a clown school the most intense entrepreneurship lab I've experienced? I go to a school that spends thousands of dollars on their entrepreneurship program. And how has a one-room school in a tiny town in Northern California managed to beat what is supposedly an incredible entrepreneurship program? We'll get into it. So a little bit more about me. I've been a clown for the past 4 years, like I said, and I work at Babson College. I'm also the co-treasurer of Seesaw Circus, and I am really passionate about combining business and circus, and especially clown. So kind of as an overview, talk a little about myself. I'll talk about what this entrepreneurial mindset really is, how I see it overlapping with clown, and why they're so similar despite seeming so impossibly different. So first off, a couple of myths and the reality about what this entrepreneurial mindset really is. Coming in, a lot of people have a myth that entrepreneurs are born. Either someone wakes up one day, realizes that they're going to start a business, and this is what they are. They may have a belief that past data predicts future success. If you plan enough, you can run a successful business. And maybe the last and most important myth is that if you have a good enough product, you will have a successful business. Very rarely do we find this to be true through research and stuff that the college has put out. We have found that entrepreneurship is not just a skill, but it's a skill that we can teach. And we can teach it well through this repeatable process that we call the entrepreneurial mindset approach. It combines prediction with action. You are inspired to act now, early, and celebrates failure. And the most important and the most clownish of these ideas is this concept of human-centered design, which we'll dive into a little bit more, but it's really about centering the person at the other end of your product. It's about listening to them, and it's about having empathy. That, at its core, is where the clown shines the most. And so what does that process look like in action? There are 5 key steps that make this happen. The first one, like we mentioned, is empathy. You need to empathize with the people you're working with. As a clown, that's the audience. As a business person, as someone starting out, that could be the person you want to buy your product. That could be, to Roger's point, stakeholders that aren't just shareholders. Bringing in people and empathizing with them is the start of this whole process. Then you can get into defining what the problem you're going to solve is. You can think more critically about gaps where you can provide the most options for support. You move forward into ideation in this very circular process of trying something, prototyping it, testing it, failing at it, going back to the ideation step. Circling through this a bunch is a process that never ends. And again, I think in some of these, which we'll talk in a minute, is how the clown really truly shines. And so let's get into that. What is that overlap that I see between clowns and really good entrepreneurs? First off, they value action and failure. A saying that has been drilled into my head from professors and people I mentor is that action exceeds everything. And I think clowns excel at this a lot. Clowns are really good at getting into their body, at playing, at just diving right in without trying to overplan or overpredict. And that is essential to becoming a better business person, a better entrepreneur, a better creator. Valuing that action, coming back to that circular process, that ability to fail and fail again, and then try something different, and then fail at that, is really important to being good, and clown can really help you lower that judgment or that fear around failure. The second really important thing is looking for endless possibilities in the world. Both my professors and my clown coaches have said, look at the world like a child would. And to have a professor say this and then have your clown coach say it in the next day, really for me underlines why clowns can be some of the best entrepreneurs. Clowns are good at looking at the world in novel ways, at seeing the ordinary and making it extraordinary. And if you can do that successfully, repeatably, that is where you find the most innovation. And so really centering this idea of exploring all the possibilities, trying things that seem nonsensical, breaking out of what should be and looking at all the possibilities can make clowns some of the best entrepreneurs. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, is that clowns are really good at centering empathy, at listening authentically, being there with people in that moment, taking their time to just listen and listen really well. And when you can do that and you can listen to what other people are saying without judgment, without trying to solve, but just listen, that is how you actually get to the solutions. And so being able to center empathy honestly and importantly, I think makes clowns some of the best people to be entrepreneurs. And so I think being able to bring these practices into the business world, like Roger has said, is one of the key ways to kind of bring the business world into that next step.
There ain't no place I'd rather be. You're lighter than the sun and the stars to me. Everybody's family at the Clown Virgin.